Okay, I'm Deven Corzine, and I was doing some regression testing, and I had to throw this in here. I made an accidental discovery a couple months ago when I was playing around with some regular expressions, trying to get ideas for my Regex talk yesterday. One of those returned a confusing answer. I concluded it was wrong and that it had to be a bug in Perl itself. This seemed unlikely since Perl has an extensive regression test suite and the Regex engine is used heavily around the world daily. So I decided to ask around at the conference to see if the top experts agreed with me that it had to be a bug in Perl's Regex engine. They all agreed it was a bug, though the right answer isn't clear. Okay, what's the bug? This is the test case, which I've shown to quite a few people now. The overall Regex is a successful match, and the outer group matches twice because of the star at the end. First time, a foo is matched and captured into $1 for the outer group. The second time through, bar is matched successfully, replacing the previous value of $1. This is correct. The nested group is the problem with the dot. There are two answers that seem reasonable. Should $2 contain a from the match against a foo, or undef because it didn't match the second time? So what does Perl actually return in $2 for this? A or undef? Neither. It returns B. This is not a reasonable answer since B foo does not appear anywhere in A foo bar at all. So how did Perl come up with B as the answer? As it turns out, $2 is A after the first pass. During the second pass, bar matches the dot first, saving B as $2. The rest of dot foo subpattern fails, but Perl keeps it anyway. This is definitely a bug in the Regex engine. All the experts agreed. I decided to try building older versions of Perl to see how long this bug had existed. Just out of curiosity, I decided to start with Perl 1.0 from 1987. Turns out ancient versions of Perl are difficult to build at all. Changes in the compilers, tools, and system caused many build errors that had to be resolved manually. Nevertheless, I successfully built a working Perl 1 binary, then 2.0, 3.0, 4.036, 5.0 alpha 8, 5.0 alpha 9, and 5.000. And Tom Christensen joined me for a lot of that. And here's the output of Perl minus V for 1.0. Pretty basic. Perl minus C actually crashes. Tom thinks it's trying to write a non-writable constant string for the maketemp function. That seems likely. But it works just fine from a file, so I made a script. This runs, but Perl 1.0 can't handle the regular expression. It just gets that no bar and subpattern. And Larry explained that Perl 1.0 actually used the regular expression engine from Gosling Emacs. He switched to Henry Spencer's library 2.0. So 2.0 is the first version of that library, and it can use the regex just fine. And it returns A as $2, which is a reasonable answer and arguably correct on the basis that the second group did match successfully, and A was indeed the last successful match for it. Perl 3.0, 4.036, 5.0 alpha 8, and 5.0 alpha 9 all gave the same answer as 2.0, returning A for $2. Perl 5.000 from 1994 was the very first commit in the Perl Git repo, which exhibits the bug, returning B for $2. Yep, Larry did it. The previous commit was Perl 5.0 alpha 9, which worked. The Git show output for the 5.000 commit is 199,000 lines long. So it's not worth looking for it because it's very different today. And the bug remains in bleed today. So I thought it might be interesting to dig into the code to see if I could come up with a patch. I mean, why not? Several people told me that the regex implementation would drive anyone crazy, and thus I'd have to be crazy to even attempt it. They're probably right. The regex engine is currently 36,864 lines of complex C code. Despite this, I've spent hours studying the code, and I think I'm starting to grasp how it works, so maybe I'll try to make a patch. After all, how hard can it be? That's on.